Yes guys, welcome back. So it has been a massive hiatus on the YouTube for me. So we are going to get back in now. Obviously I've just finished my competitive season, so we're moving into the off season now, and what I want to do is really just document the whole off season going into prep obviously next year. So prep's not going to start until about January next year, so we all know Cheney can't do an off season properly, so we're going to make sure this one is structured with 3 weeks post show now, 7 pounds up, so pretty much in a perfect position. Really happy with where conditions at the moment. Jake is happy, so that's the main man behind the camera, Corin. He is going to be filming the whole of this season, obviously the off season, and going into prep next year as well. Really good content we've had from him working with ABP already, so that's why I've got him in to do the whole series now. So yeah, push today as always, but no, we're going to go through the whole training plan. It's literally going to be push to start with, pull, legs, upper, and then a legs and arm session then, which predominantly based on last year, a lot of focus on glutes and hamstrings really. Everything else seems to be nice and in proportion, so it's bringing those glutes and hamstring up, bringing that condition, and hopefully next year we can nail it. So yeah, let's get in. First exercise is going to be an incline Smith, really low incline, so we will just start warming up on that now, and let's get into it. You would have just seen then, perfect timing, we're in the CBC hoodie. One of my clients, Mark, who also competed this year, both of us did the same show. It was an incredible day. Obviously I had 2 second places in Classic and in Open Class 1, and Mark took 2 second places as well, Novice and Class 2. So unfortunately we didn't get to stand in the overall together, but next year that is the goal. Obviously I love all of my sessions. So the first 2 sessions now this off season has been setting baseline numbers, getting the movement pattern, etc, just being comfortable, being safe, and now it's sort of that time where we can get to start sending it now. So last week was only 5 reps on here, which the top set is 8 to 10, but we're going to stick with four plates and just build it up until we get to that top end. The only thing that would take into account was last week I did an incline press first before, which obviously would have taken a little bit away, so technically that means this should be a lot easier today. Now when it comes to warming up, we don't want to just jump in straight away. We also don't want to take too much away from the session itself, so like that's why it's always best to have logbook numbers as well, because you know exactly what you're aiming for. So like obviously 4 plates I've got here, so I've done 1 plate, literally just 10 reps with 1 plate, 2 plates, 8 reps, 3 plates, just three reps, just to like get the connective tissue etc ready for it, and putting your body under that heavier load, and then we go into the working set then. So make sure you're warming up properly, but also just make sure you're not taking too much away from your session or that top set itself. It's the magic pen you need to track your logbooks, because the green, which is hopefully what we have all day today, is going to mean we've progressed. Blue, obviously stay the same. Red, which we don't see any of, that's degressed. So make sure you get yourself a bit multicolour. But today, again, second set, we're actually going to try and increase a little bit now this week, because we had 3 plates and a 5 kilo last week for the back off. This week we're going to try with a 10 because we hit the top rep range. A lot of clients do ask, how much to drop back when they do their back offset. And the rule of thumb is really like 10-20%. I see too many people drop in, like if I did a 4 plate there, then someone would drop to 2 or 3 plates for a back offset. Like, you still want that back offset to be really hard. And the only reason you are doing less weight is purely because you shouldn't be able to do that max weight twice in a row. So we want the second set to be higher rep, so effectively we're getting stronger in both rep ranges, but we also want to make sure that it's heavy enough and it's only a fraction away from that top end weight. So just drop it by 10-20% with a back offset. Another little thing as well, when you set up for a Smith machine, you want everything that the first thing you want to do is make sure that setup is locked in. So what you'll see a lot of people doing is happy feet, like their feet are moving around the whole session trying to find a comfortable position. Pull your feet back, get up onto your tiptoes, think about driving your tiptoes back and pushing your heels down. Like, when you're locked in, your heels are going to be off the floor, but think about driving them down into the floor, because that'll initiate the strength from the quads. So that's my feet locked in there. As I come down then, I'll always think hand placement will be slightly further than shoulder width apart. So grip the same weight, and then from there, I'm going to lock my lats in, so I'm just going to bring myself up, lock my lats in so I'm stiff. Now I can feel tension everywhere now, through my quads, the glutes, my back, so everywhere is locked in, and that makes the movement smoother. Progression again. Weight's going up and strength is going up, so we're in a good place at the moment. Yeah, the outtakes. Yeah, something Corin just picked up on then. Like, obviously these little cues that you give someone when you're training. Like, if you're a beginner, these are little things that you're just not gonna know. Even if you're like intermediate, like, a lot of people know how to train hard, and a lot of people know how to bring intensity to the training, but a lot of that can be wasted by just coming in and training hard and not actually locking into whatever muscle it is that you're trying to train that day. So this is why, like, coaching in general is so beneficial. Like, I get my clients to send me training clips all the time. One of Corin's friends, shout out Kyle, Shaq, literally sent all his training videos over yesterday. All pressing movements to the standard eye, really, really good. Slow tempo, controlled, just little things he was doing that needed fixing, which after sending videos again then, were absolutely perfect. And then I asked him, how did it feel? Contraction was so much better, less shoulder pain. And one of the things he was doing was doing a press. Now this is a standard one, an easy one as well, because what a lot of people will do, will bring it down, and obviously the mindset is get as much stretch as you can. But obviously if you're going all the way to here, the first thing that's done then is my shoulders collapsed. So if I start pressing from this position, the first thing I'm doing is bringing my shoulders up. Shouldn't be working my shoulders in a chest press. So you want to come down until you're at your active range, which is here. So obviously any further now, my shoulders start moving. So only to the active range where you're stretching the chest. Like, people think if you want to stretch your chest has got to come all the way back here. It hasn't. Like, my chest is fully stretched there, and then if I press up through, it's going all through the chest. So no other muscle group, apart from my triceps, no other muscle group is coming into play. It's just pure chest. So little cues make a world of difference. Is it right? Yeah. One thing I'm going to do as well during this season, and obviously these training videos, is take things back to basics. I'm literally just going to talk about things as if I'm talking to a beginner, because I think a lot of content on YouTube, on Instagram at the moment is, yeah, it's brilliant, absolutely fantastic, but a lot of it is really overdone, and you're talking to people that haven't learnt the basics yet properly. So I really just want to help those people that, you know, are just starting in training, need to learn those little fundamentals first. Once they're perfected, amazing. Then we can talk about the added extras then that we can bring into play. But we don't have to talk, doesn't have to be super scientific. If I wanted to like talk scientifically, I could use all the common knowledge, the words that are needed, but we're going to keep it plain and simple just so that the information is there for everybody, you know, just to help all experience types. For anyone that wonders what PPS is, it's plates per side. It's technical gym slang. Another little tip, little additive, obviously talking about starting within your active range. Obviously this machine, if you started when it was fully at the bottom, you're going to be past that active range. So a little trick I like to use, just get a clip, lift the machine up, pop it in, so that when we sit down, the machine is already within his active range then, so it takes the shoulders out of that first pressing movement. Because as soon as you turn the shoulders on by pressing, you can't seem to turn them off doing the all set then. So second set. Intro workout as well. Supplements as always, ABP Nutrition, code Cheney10, but we have got 15 grams of glutamine, 10 grams of creatine and 20 grams of EAAs, and we've also got 30 grams of cyclic dextrin, so carb powder to drink during your workout, just to make sure you've got that sustained energy throughout the workout and you're not dropping off. So I think carb powder is probably one of the most underutilized products. Like even if you want a cheaper alternative, just buy like a Lucozade energy drink. Oh yeah, it's got the carbs, it's got the sugars in there, but you're going to utilize those sugars and those carbs during your training anyway. But obviously your better option is going to be a carb powder like I use, Performance Fill from Trained by JP. Again, also you can pick that up from ABP Nutrition, but there's a full range of different carb powders. But yeah, just make sure you're getting in, you've got your amino acids in there, helping in terms of recovery. You've got your carbohydrates in there for that prolonged energy during the training. It's a perfect little mixture. Same as any exercise, obviously third exercise now, pec deck fly, and it's all about that setup again, so keeping the feet locked in on the floor, back again, nice and strong, nice and push. So basically what I want to think about doing is, like you've got a puppet, pulling your chest up, so I want to keep that chest up the whole time, and then with the handle, what I'm thinking about doing then is driving. Obviously it's going to start with a slight bend on the elbow, and then as I come through, I'm thinking about straightening my elbow and both elbows coming together there then. So obviously when they're fully contracted, see a lot of people that are able to push both handles together. you're almost going past your active range of motion if you can get both hands together, because my pec is fully contracted there. So that's my bicep jammed against my chest. So that's a full contraction. Like obviously if I squeeze hard with it now, I'm feeling a full contraction in my chest. So any further, my shoulder's coming forward. So you just want to go to your active range of motion, so just fly in and stop as soon as you're fully contracted. And that is the chest fried. So 3 exercises for chest, 2 pressing movements, 1 sort of flat, 1 incline, fly, and then we're going to move on to some shoulder work. The 4th exercise, shoulder press. I was actually aiming for 8 to 10 reps then, and I think I got 13, which I'll have to look at the VAR. But yeah, I think it was 13 reps. So instead of dropping off now the second set for the back off set, what I'll do is just keep this as the same weight, and then obviously use a little bit more next weekend to progress that first set. And yeah, I think one thing to be noteful is if you've got a rep range, try not to just stop at the rep range. Also, it's there as a plan. So obviously if you've done 8 to 10, great, but you want to be training to failure and just pushing yourself to the limit every single set. That's where you're going to create the most stimulus. So again, if it says 8 to 10, just keep going until you hit failure, and then you just know then you've got the data there ready for next week to progress. So what we'll notice is the majority of my exercises are only 2 sets, only a top set, back off set, and obviously for chest then there was only 6 working sets. Now that might not sound like a lot to a lot of people. I have obviously got an upper session as well later on in the week where I'll add another 4 sets for obviously chest, so obviously total volume will be 10 sets over the week. Again, might not sound a lot, you might be doing 12-15 sets for your chest, but we need to do what is effective, and if you're taking every single set to failure, effectively you're going to create more stimulus than if you're doing junk volume. So if you're doing 3 sets of 15 to 20 or 3 sets of 12 to 15, and the first 5 reps are light, you're not getting any stimulus through them, you're not progressing those sets. You need to look at the effective volume, see what training you're doing that is effective, and then start programming to make sure you're training to failure and you're progressing those sets, because sometimes less is more. So those 6 sets now, I'll be actively able to progress those sets for weeks after weeks. So yeah, effectively that's as much as I can recover from during a week. Obviously as the off season goes on now, I may be able to incorporate more sets, but for now that's where we're at, and that's where we're still progressing. So another thing to talk about is what rep range is the most effective, and technically there is no effective rep range. What I like to do is obviously a top set and a back off set. So my top set will be quite a large range of 6 to 10. So that's obviously getting strong in that sort of lower rep range. and then the second set will be a 10 to 15 then. So effectively I'm getting strong between 6 to 15 reps. I think anything more is moving into cardio, and we don't do cardio. So yeah, like effectively the best thing you need to be doing is just tracking lifts. Obviously if you're in a dieting phase, you're tracking lifts to make sure you're maintaining strength, because if you're maintaining strength, you're maintaining muscle. And then obviously when you're in an off season, the physique obviously isn't as pretty, so to speak, or it's not lean. So then obviously you need your goals to change slightly. So your goals change more directly to your training performance then. So if you're pushing, again, looking at your rep ranges, you know if you're cutting and like you're dropping reps or you're dropping strength, effectively you can drop like a set off just to make sure that your recovery is still there, and then the opposite then. So if you're in an off season and you know you can see that you're recovering with the effective volume you've got, you can push those sets up then and just effectively get a couple more sets and some more stimulus during the session. Takes and triceps. For our triceps, I only do two exercises for triceps as well, but the first one will always be a mass builder, and I think it has to be one or the other, either a dip or a close grip bench. Like, to be fair, I've got decent triceps, and the majority of that has been built through either heavy dips, like body weight with a weight attached, or with a close grip bench, obviously doing a decent amount of weight, and then also you can work the isolation then later on. So and with isolation, one day I'll do a push down, like obviously a cable push down, and then the next day I'll do more of an overhead variation, just to make sure all three heads of the tricep are getting ticked off obviously by the end of the week. One thing I make sure I do as well on a tricep dip is just making sure that your upper body is nice and tall as well, because obviously a dip can be chest focused or it can be tricep focused. So whether to make it more chest focused, obviously you'd lean forward a little bit, probably turn around the other way. And obviously tricep focused, then you just want to be up against the pad as much as possible, upright, pushing down purely with the triceps. A massive difference just having that obviously push down. So if we can keep this pad locked in, obviously that's going to create counter force. So it's a good tip actually with any sort of training. So whether you're training back, whether you're training your chest, always think about where your counter force comes from. So like if I'm rowing, my opposite hand will always be pushing. So I'll push with my opposite hand whilst I row with my working hand. So same here now, when I want to dip down, I'm producing force through my legs to obviously get stronger through the triceps here. One way to make sure you are tracking or progressing anyway in the right way is to just make sure you're standardizing all your reps. So when you're training, just make sure that your tempo is exactly the same. So like if you're doing an eccentric, it's a 3-second eccentric, and that you're spending time as well in the short end and the lengthened obviously range. So what you'll see with me is I'll start here, I'll spend a second just holding, squeeze down, hold for a second at the bottom, and then slowly, 3 seconds up, pause again, squeeze down, contract. So it's almost like your tempo then is 1 second squeeze, 3 seconds eccentric, and a 1 second pause. All green, so we've had a good day. The extra food is doing the work. And that's the triceps then as well. So again, it's only 2 exercises of triceps, and that might not sound like a lot, but when you think of all of the pressing, obviously we've had 2 chest presses, we've had 1 shoulder press, and effectively the triceps are going to be your secondary muscle that's getting worked during those exercises. So you're already pre-fatiguing them in, and then at the end of the session just finish them off obviously by targeting the muscle with those last 2 exercises. So we've only got 1 exercise left, bit of a curveball. It's 3 sets of abductor, and that's again just because the glutes need to come up this year, so Jake has popped like a glute exercise in pretty much every other day, just to make sure that we're just adding volume throughout the week and we're able to recover from it. Because if I just chucked loads of volume into like a leg session and just put more glute volume in there, again, like we were speaking about earlier, I just wouldn't be able to recover from it. So if I spread that volume out throughout the week, again, I can do more of that muscle, but I can recover from it as well. Because I can't connect with my glutes very well, you might notice obviously I've got my hands on my glutes. It's not because I'm touching myself up. It's just literally just try and find that mind to muscle connection. So because I can't feel it, I just put my fingers there, and obviously it produces that little bit of a feel then, so I get a better mind to muscle connection. And then the other thing is with the pads. So with people like this, people use their feet to actually push the weight out. What you want to do is turn the feet off completely. Like, yeah, your feet are going to be planted there, but all the force should be going through your knees. So be thinking about just your knees. You can almost like float your feet off that pad and just use your knees to drive out. That way you're going to connect with your glutes a million times better. That is the session finished. So push at the bar ride at Planet Fitness. Obviously next session now, we'll go through every session. So the next one will be the pull day. Then obviously legs, then upper, and legs and arms to finish. So every session will be ticked off. But yeah, we'll be doing this minimum monthly, but potentially every couple of weeks. Just to follow the whole process, and obviously like especially coming out of prep now, going into an off season, talking about the struggles, because it has been a struggle, I'll be honest, and obviously rebounding properly is probably the most difficult thing you can do. Like if you come out of a show and binge, go crazy, eat what you want, you're going to end up 10 kilos heavier probably in like 2 or 3 weeks, and that's then your off season effectively ruined. So to make the most progress possible, I've had to be meticulous coming out of the prep into this off season, which to be fair I'm quite proud of, because I have messed it up a few times. So this has definitely been the best post prep period I've ever done. So hopefully that means the most progress made. But yeah, we will update you in the next YouTube now. So we'll be in for pull in the next YouTube. Obviously go and follow ABP Nutrition, all the supplements, everything you need, clothing, use code Cheney10. Also give Corin a follow, Corin Photography on Instagram. Some really good content coming from him. Working with ABP Nutrition a lot as well, so you'll see a lot of the team on there as well. And I'll get some of the team involved in this series as well, just to push each other along, because a lot of us, quite excitingly, have got the same sort of timescales in terms of off-season prep. I know Con and Lowe will be going again sort of January time. Ben, the boss, I'm going to make him go in January as well, so he'll be in prep in January. So we'll all be, pushing together and then prepping together as well. And so, but massive thank you to Corin for today, and looking forward to getting again. So, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, tell your nan, get everyone involved. Let's go.